guys, it's Annette with Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot, and this week we are going to be covering the week of the 8th through the 15th of November. This is the week after the elections, and there is a lot of activity in the sky. So I thought I would just run over the days of the week that we are going to be having some pretty intense activity. So we have one consistent energy that is going on. Well, we have a few, but we have one really interesting one, and that's called a Cardinal T-Square. Now, Cardinal T-Square is two squares and an opposition. And the energy that, so at the top of the Cardinal T-Square is Pluto and Jupiter, which are conjunct in the same degree. They're both in 22 degrees. And so this is considered a conjunction, like an exact conjunction, because it's in the same degree. But on the 12th, it is in the exact degree. And so that's going on all this week, and that the conjunction between Pluto and Jupiter squaring off with Venus, which is in Libra, and Mars, which is in Aries, which is in retrograde. That energy is all throughout the week as well. So for some of you who don't know what a cardinal T-square is, cardinal energy is, it initiates activity, right? It delegates. So, it's like you want your kids to clean their room. You're delegating that you want your kids to clean the room, right? So you want them to take action. That is essentially what cardinal energy is. It's the initiation of action, whether it be somebody else does the action or whether you do it yourself, because Aries energy often do it themselves. Libra energy often likes to do it together. And Capricorn energy, it's kind of like a group of people with the same agenda do it together. And that's all the energies that are at play. So with a politically charged environment, usually a square is some sort of challenge in that energy. So I want to talk a little bit about this consistent energy source that's available all week. In a negative aspect, and then we'll talk about the positives of it. Mars in Aries will move forward, and it will move forward on the 13th of November. And so there's going to be this feeling of wanting to change. You want change, you want to initiate, you want to take action, but initially at the beginning of the week, there's resistance to that. You just can't quite get what you want. So it's kind of like you want to move forward, but there's a process to moving forward that you're going to have to be patient with, and you might be incredibly impatient in this energy. Also, you're not going to feel like compromising. You're going to be very very self-indulgent, very self-aware of what you want versus what is best for all. You're going to be very concerned with what motivates you, what your ego wants. And if some of you guys are having relationships, bonds, partnerships, or unions, problems, then it's going to be a rough beginning of the week, because you're going to be unable to compromise or see another person's point of view. There might be some power and control struggles. There's definitely this feeling of, wanting to make that, you want somebody to change, but that person isn't willing to do what you want. And it's also this insane need to take your power back. Now, the positive of a cardinal T-square, it's a challenge, right? It's time. It's a push. So you can't help but be challenged to move forward. There's no going back once you get this type of energy. It is the universe pushing you and making you take action. And this is in areas that traditionally we've always did things a certain way, but we're no longer going to be doing it that way. So it is usually impacting some sort of comfort zone, some sort of very old mindset, rigid mindset, an area where you're not open to a lot of compromise. So we have that energy at the beginning of the week. So we're going to talk about the first big day that we have this week, because we do have a really positive energy to talk about. And I'm just going to go into it because it's really beautiful, and it's here all week as well. We have Saturn and Jupiter sextiling the Sun in Scorpio and sextiling Neptune and Pisces, which is in retrograde. And Neptune and Pisces is going to be going direct here in a while. So this is something to come, something that you're hopeful about, something that you need, something that we get you closer to your dreams, your ideal life, right? To an idyllic type of mindset. It's something that didn't seem tangible, but now you might be able to manifest from this place of hope and not of despair. And this beautiful energy, if you are tapping into potential, if you are tapping into areas that you want to get some control over your life and places where you lose power, this is a place where the Sun in Scorpio and Neptune in Pisces can pull stuff from spirit. It can give you the power of spirit and can give you the power of what's always been deep inside of you to transform yourself, to transform your life. And it will be a challenge. It won't be easy. But this energy is like lighting it's like lighting a match. It's a really beautiful energy, and it's powerful. It's powerful because it's available all week to us. For some of us who have been looking for hope in our lives, for some of us who have been have felt like there was nothing left, there was no hope left. There's nothing to dream for, nothing that you could do to change your circumstances, feeling absolutely powerless. You now have potential in your life, and it can feel very invigorating, and it can feel revitalizing, and it can feel exciting, but more importantly, it can be empowering. And that is what this energy is all about. When we get so suppressed by oppressive energy that it's like somebody is sitting on top of us and they won't get off of us, and we can't pull ourselves up, we can't do anything, we can't move, we just can't. This would be them getting off of you and you being able to take the power back, and for you to erect yourself and to stand up and take control of the situation. It's that freedom and that release to let go. And it's a beautiful energy, because as soon as you feel that release, that freedom from that obstacle that was so oppressive that literally you couldn't move. There was no movement, because that was Mars and Aries. There was no movement. It was in retrograde, and so it was exhaustion, and it was made you insecure, and it made you feel powerless, and it made you feel all of the things that goes along with deep suppression and oppression. And it's such a feeling when you feel like life has now new meaning, new hope. Even if it is in some idyllic state, meaning it's not as close to reality as what you want it to be, but it's just that feeling of like hope and dream in your mindsets. It's just revitalizing. So the energies that we have to go through this week is, the first one comes up It happens on November 10th, and it is going to be Mercury enter Scorpio. Now, Mercury, the planet that rules your mind, it rules your day-to-day stimuli. It rules your day-to-day interactions, your day-to-day conversations. It's moving into Scorpio. And so when our mind goes into Scorpio, it's a deeper place. We're not working on a superficial level in our mind. We're working very, very deep into the grooves of our mind, into places that we don't normally swim around in. It's the murky depths of our mind. So as you can imagine, there's a certain intensity with that, because we do have this Cardinal T-Square that is pushing us and challenging us. And if for some of you who really, because we're still at this point in Mercury and Aries in retrograde, there's still some resistance to this challenge to move forward and to transform and to do things in a completely different way and to get control over things that have been out of control. It depends on what side of the coin you are. You know, you're the one that's breaking free from an oppression. Then this can be a time where it's challenging you to stand up and take control over your life. That can be a little intense to feel, because now it is time to move forward, and you can feel it in your bones that it's coming, and that there is something that you are going to have to do that is you're going to be dealing with a fear, something that you have to face, something that you have to confront, right? If you're on the side where you're in the square of this energy, which Mercury and Scorpio would then be squaring off with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn, then boy, you are going to have a rough week, because it is filled with impatience, and it is filled with lies, deception, fears, and that feeling of utter powerlessness. And that is because you feel intimidated, or you feel jealous, or you feel envious of somebody else getting something that you wanted, that you were fixated on, an outcome that you intended on getting what you wanted. So it's a pretty intense feeling. Anytime that we have Mercury in Scorpio in a square, we're diving into the places where we fixate on the most. So the way that energy moves is it's constantly adapting and changing. And if you're one of those people that can't adapt and can't change and isn't mutable at all, and you have very rigid and belief systems, and you hold on to this stuff and you fixate it on it to like an unhealthy degree, well, that's when you fall into some of the negative parts of the beginning of this week, because there's some pretty intense energy. Now, if you're a person who is very interested in a different way of life, you want to transform your circumstances, you've never been happy, you've never been satisfied, and you're ready for this step to happen, then you are going to be very happy, because you can create some powerful outcomes when it comes to habits and rituals and routines that you want to change, because the moon's going to be in Virgo. This has to do with your mental well-being, your physical health, your spiritual health, and your emotional health. So this can be one of those times where you feel very free, like a butterfly released, and you feel like there's optimism again and hope, because Neptune, which is in Pisces, which is in retrograde still, is in a beautiful sextile, absolutely beautiful sextile, and so is the Sun in Scorpio. If you've ever been around a Scorpio energy when it is negative, when they're in their negative headspace, you know how intense they can be. But if you've ever been around a Scorpio that is in a positive headspace, then you can see just how intimate and penetrating and the sharing that goes on when the Sun in Scorpio is in a positive energy. There's such a depth to it that it is a connection unlike any other. It is your deepest desires, the things you're most passionate about. I mean, you're absolutely the most passionate about. Comes about an energy like this. Now, Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio, and Mars, which is in Aries at this point and this day, is in a square. So this is a challenge of self versus the way that the external world is moving. This is, I want this, but the world isn't granting you that ego-based desire. And it is creating conflict. And it is creating you're at war with yourself, you know. You're rigid and you're stuck, and you can't move forward from this point because you simply can't let go of what that ego is holding on to. I just encourage you throughout this week to embrace things like passion, things like desire, things like hope, because there is a darkness to this energy. There is a absolutely fearful state that you can get in when you are so fixated on something and you're not getting what your ego desires. It can make you angry and petulant, and it can make you feel like you have to go fight hard to get what you want. Relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions. You're going to be in a beautiful trine with the North Node in Gemini, and your compass is going north. So if some of you are starting out a new relationship or you're reconnecting with people, this is going to be really great energy that will help you move past a lot of relationship, partnership, bond issues that you've had in the past. This is progression in that area. The next day I want to talk about is November 12th. That is the Pluto and Jupiter exact conjunction. That means these two planets are in the exact same degree, and that's kind of major because that is a alignment in these two energies. Again, we still have the Cardinal T-square. So this day, I feel like it's, again, one of those very... There's a duality in this energy, mostly because we have a North Node that's in Gemini. The duality is it can go good or it can go bad for you. You pick your energy. So if you want to get caught up in all of the information that's going to be swirling around, making you emotional about all the legal processes and proceedings and legal jargon that's out there, and if you want to get caught up in, you know, black and white thinking, what's right or wrong, if you're trying to make people compromise, they're simply unwilling to compromise, or you're trying to talk with somebody who's unwilling to have an intelligent conversation, this is going to be a terrible day for you. And it's going to then make you want to lash out at this person. You're going to be very impatient with your conversations, impatient with your partnerships, your bonds, and your unions. You're not going to be able to get through. It's not going to be a conversation that solves anything. It's going to be it's just going to go out of control. So it's kind of like there are times when to talk to people and try to work out things, and there's times when you can, you know, you let everybody cool off, and then you can talk about compromising and trying to meet in the middle and trying to create some sort of peace and harmonious way of resolving this issue that's rational and logical. That's not when the emotions are running high. That's when the when the emotions are running high, you are unable to be rational, which is going to be very frustrating for people. So things you may be emotional about: Jupiter expands everything it touches. It's in Capricorn, so that's, you know, that's power and control issues. That's the government. That's the laws, the rules, the regulations that all govern us and the people that govern us and enforce those laws. It's going to be in this exact conjunction with Pluto and Capricorn. Pluto is the destroyer. It's a transformative energy, but it will tear down, burn down, and absolutely destroy anything in its path that is an obstacle if it's fixating on some sort of negativity. And trust me, there is a ton of energy in today that can put you in that headspace. So this has to do with what is fair, what's right and wrong. I mean, it's boiling down to that. It has to do with legal arguments. If somebody isn't following the letter of the law, or if somebody isn't following the rules, or if somebody isn't, it's always been traditionally done this way and they're not doing it that way. This could be people resisting the decisions that you are trying to make. If you're trying to make a plan, people could just be resistant to it, uncooperative, unwilling to see your perspective or even consider your perspective. It's the refusal to look at things logically, and it's also to be incredibly fear-based. Now, mind you, whatever Jupiter touches, it expands. But Jupiter is also benefic, the gift giver, and also Pluto is transformative. So it's whatever energy you're tapping into. Some of you also may lose your way in here, and this is all the negative energy, by the way. This is, you may not be confident in the process. You may feel kind of hopeless. You may be frustrated that it is not going, and it doesn't look like it's going in the direction that you think is fair and is the right way to do things. If you really want to embrace positive energy, we're going to embrace empowering mindsets in relationships. Meaning, if somebody's asking you to compromise, you could say, okay, let's try that. It could be conversations. It could be just talking about a better life, talking about a dream life, just, I don't know, adjusting your thinking to maybe not embracing totally what is going on in your reality right now, but what could be the potential of your reality. That would be idyllic thinking is powerful for manifesting, as well as hopeful thinking. And this has to do a lot with collaborating and joining with people and your closest bonds, partnerships, and unions that actually calm your fears and actually think like you and actually, help you embrace positivity. That is just the most beautiful thing about this week. One thing I want to say about November 12th with this Jupiter and Pluto conjunction is that the moon in Libra and Venus in Libra are going to be in a beautiful energy with the North Node in Gemini. So for some of you that are willing to be adaptable, flexible, granted, not fixated, not controlling, okay? You're willing to just sit down and have long talks and look at things from different perspectives and be open and to receive and to be receptive to new ideas, rational conclusions, rational explanations for things, and to look at things for what they are. Then this is a beautiful energy. All that's going to do is point your compass north. And it's going to help you heal areas in your partnerships, your bonds, and your unions where you did not have a lot of peace and harmony in before. Then we have on November 13th, we have Mars goes direct. We still have this Cardinal T-square. So it has been frustrating for Mars. Mars energy loves to move forward. It's your stamina. It's your determination. It's the energy that helps initiate action. It's what empowers you in your life. And it's the warrior. It's your inner warrior in your life. But this energy is in some intense energy. So I want to talk a little bit about, let's talk a little bit about what Mars rules, and that is war or warrior, anger, aggression, strategy, making a plan to move forward or to initiate action in a positive way. It could be fighting. You could be very self-oriented, self-indulgent. Some of you may think this is the time to take action and to fight. It's the time for you to, defend whatever, whatever thing that you think needs defending, and for you to fight for what you think is right. Now, this energy's been pent up, and it's been stuck in waiting for the right time. So when Mars moves forward, that is the feeling of the right time for all of this stuff. So some of the positive things that we could be dealing with in this day is this can feel like, I finally get to move forward. I finally get to do that thing that's going to help me progress. This is, I feel like I'm finally getting what I desire most, what I want. This is getting your control back, feeling empowered in your life. This can also be soothing away your fears. This energy, when Mars comes in, it's like you feel powerful, so fear isn't as in the forefront. You're not powerless, so fear has such a prominent place in your energy. You are taking control, so therefore fear is going back in its dark little cubbyhole. And it does tend to lower the intensity in what you're deeply processing, feeling on a very deep emotional level, because we have this whole Sun and Scorpio thing. Negative things that come out of this energy, and this is where I think the energy ramps up toward the end of the week in a much more intense way, is because we have the moon in Scorpio on this day, the day that Mars goes direct. There's also the moon in Scorpio. And this one thing I want to talk about is Pluto. So on the day that Mars in Aries goes direct, Pluto in Capricorn goes into this exact sextile with the Sun in Scorpio. Pluto rules Scorpio energy, and Mars rules Scorpio energy. So this is a day when I can see Scorpio energy having a prominent, taking the lead, and it's starting to change the way that we're going to be moving forward, and it's going to be something we are deeply want and we're very passionate about. That's probably the best energy that I can say about this week, is it's just very, 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 very powerful. But something that is also long lasting. Pluto is the furthest away, right? And so whatever it touches manifests over a period of time. But what's more important is that the longevity is associated with this, because it's in, of course, Capricorn. So this is any kind of goal related activity. Like for some of you who are wanting to make a budget, get control over your finances, solidify your foundation in some way, whatever that is. For some of you, if you are looking at career, this could be, you could be moving out and starting a life with somebody, like anything like that. It's like that stuff that takes a long time to manifest, but in the end, it solidifies your foundation. But I feel like people are going to be deeply insecure about the future, and they're going to be dealing with power and control issues because they're not getting what they want. I think this is going to evoke a lot of deep fears in some people who do not agree, who are resisting the flow of energy, who don't want to move forward. Jealous, envy comes up in energy like this. Absolutely. If some of you are envious of others or jealous of others, this is it's that kind of energy where you see a lot of people act out and want to destroy other people's outcomes because they cannot deal with not getting what they want. And so they take it out on other people. This is the destruction of opponents and the aggressively taking what you think you deserve. This is also a lot of external aggression toward others because you have no self-control over yourself. That can happen. Yeah. And then finally, on November 14th, we have a new moon in Scorpio, which is also in a Cardinal T-square. So again, a new moon is a new beginning. And I'm just saying, I'm not trying to impose my views, my political views, but Biden is a Scorpio and it's a new moon in Scorpio. So I feel like we make more headway toward the acceptance of Biden being the new president-elect, even if you don't agree with it. It starts to manifest in the government that he is going to be the new president, whether they agree with it or not. But that's not before a lot of resistance that will happen during this week. So Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are all in a sextile with this beautiful energy. This is the biggest signal from the universe that our future is changing for the better. When you get benefic Jupiter expanding and blessing it, when you get Saturn, the planet that rules karma, and Pluto, transformation, all in a beautiful sextile with this new moon in Scorpio, conjunct the sun in Scorpio, which, I mean, the moon and the sun are conjunct. So that is centralizing what our deepest desires are on an authentic level, but also what we emotionally need the most right now. It is some stunning energy. And then a trine with Neptune and Pisces, guys. Dreams are made of this kind of energy. Dream big. I would really manifest on this day. I would really make this day all about pouring as much as you can into your mind, a positivity, because you can actually physically manifest this stuff externally. Now, for some of you that are angry, absolutely angry about the way that things are going, and you're not getting what you want, then where you are going to be is you're going to have a deep desire to get power over this. You need to control this. You are fixating on the need to control this situation. You are incredibly fear-based, and you think that if you do not go out there and take this drastic action, that you are the only one that can save the situation. This is deep down stuff that you are insecure about, but that you don't really understand it because it's on a very psychological level. It's a place where you're scared to lose power, and so therefore you don't trust where the direction or spirit or the way things are going, and so you feel like you're the only one to solve the issue. This is absolutely the energy that creates a fight-based energy, and this is something that you are deeply fixated on, almost obsessively. And this is some dark energy, guys. This is where fetishes lie, where fear lies, where resistance lies, where anger lies, where your obstacles lie, where you don't feel like you're understood, you don't feel like it's fair, you don't feel like the legal processes have been on your side, you feel victimized in this area. And this is, more importantly, it feels like a personal attack on you in some way. Even if it's an external, it still feels like it's a very personal attack. I would really encourage you guys to route your energy to getting control over the things that you felt powerless about. I would really lay down some goals and really just I don't know, dream to your heart's content. In your most idyllic state, for instance, what do you want your country to look like in its most ideal state in your mind? Like, what do you want for it? You're going to fixate on that outcome. And every day that outcome is going to be something that you feel deep inside, a deep burning desire, a deep passion for. This is something that you have to feel on an emotional level to manifest. This isn't something that you just like keep, it's like when I want something, like I'll take a picture, put it on my phone, and every day it's on my phone. I carry it around with me. It's feeling my energy. We're vibing the whole time. I fixate on what I want, and I pretty much have always gotten it if I fixate on it hard enough. Deepest desires come from this energy, things you're most passionate about, the actions that you always wished you would take but never did. It actually pours energy into that. This is the ability to transform to your traditional mindset. So for some of you, what's being challenged right now is traditional mindsets. But this is new traditional mindsets, new traditions, new ways of doing things that we've never done before. I can guarantee you that Thanksgiving, we're going to be doing Thanksgiving differently. It's going to be a different kind of Thanksgiving. And maybe that might be the norm, the way it is for a while. You never know. More importantly, this is addressing some deeply internal and psychological issues. This is a great time to go get help. This is a great time to meditate, to learn how to have some mental discipline. This is a great time to focus on yourself and to heal yourself. More importantly, out of this whole week, it's about healing. Healing from deep, deep inside. And whatever healing looks like to you. For some people, healing is overpowering others because that's the only way that they feel like they can heal, is if they have all the power and control over others. That would be the negative headspace. The positive headspace is it's a deeply internal process. You're ready to tackle some of your deepest fears and demons. You don't want them having control over you anymore. And so now you're moving forward. Anyhow, guys, I know that this is a really, really long astrology time, but I can't even tell you how much energy is in this week that I squeezed into this, 38-minute video. Woo! It's a lot of energy, and I covered it all, and I'm pretty impressed with myself, because the only thing that I want to warn you about is your gut is going to tell you a lot about what's going to go on this week. You're very tuned into on a very deep level, on like if your emotion is telling you something, pay attention to it. If your gut is warning you, if you're feeling like, for instance, if you're just, everything is annoying you, then you know that you're in the negative vibration of this energy. If you feel excited and your deepest desires just seem to be manifesting, then you're in the positive energy. And really be mindful of where your energy is going, because other people have agendas for your energy right now. Other people want to evoke fear. They want to evoke, they are fixating on an outcome, and they are trying to control you and push you in their direction so that you can help them achieve their agendas, because they want to make sure that they win at all costs. So that's not where you want your energy going, because this is about you transforming and getting what you deeply desire most. Anyhow, guys, I hope you have a wonderful week, and just go out there and be the change you want to see in the world.